welcome back to Putting the World to Fights. Crazy week for you.
Fucking awesome week of fights. Awesome week of fights.
Cage Warriors,
UFC281,
BKFC. An exclusive interview we had last week with James Connolly. If you haven't checked that out, check that out now. It's already posted. Stay tuned for all the action from this week.
and as always, like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Welcome back to Putting the World to Fights. Busy week on the old fight front with UFC and Cage Warriors. So exactly that.
A lot of entertaining shit going on.
We'll start off with the Cage Warriors. We'll go into the BKFC, and then we'll hit the UFC a little bit later. I'll put a link to where we get to talk about the UFC in the. I'll put markers on it, so you can jump to that part. If you do, obviously you'll miss out on all this great content. Hopefully you don't. But let's get started. Okay, Cage Warriors. I know you're itching to talk about.
Fucking Jimmy,
Judo Jim.
man,
Jimmy Warhead.
It was awesome.
Give us the lowdown.
Wow, he's an absolute vet, hasn't he? He's been around for yonks.
We've seen him
countless
yonks he's been around.
And he was fighting for the interim bout.
Yes.
And
new.
And dominated it, yeah, and new. I mean, it was evident why he's been around for so long.
Yes.
You know, he was still fluid, still lucid. He was still kind of, doing what he needed to do. And I'm sure he's 38. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's about 38. So
seems about a common age.
Yeah.
George Hilliard, 37.
Yeah.
I
know
Jimmy
Warhead.
Warhead.
And yeah, I mean, it was just an absolute awesome performance, and he just dropped him.
Yes.
Absolutely dropped him and just jumped on him.
No hesitation, straight in.
Yeah.
Finished the job.
He wasn't messing around, and if you haven't seen that, we will post a clip up of him knocking this dude out, because it was lovely.
The highlights are probably playing above us.
Yeah.
But if they're not,
we'll have him in.
Check out our Twitter. The highlights will all be there. Same as Instagram.
On Facebook.
We've recently started a Facebook page. Under our name. You know us. Search
Find
us.
it.
Find it. Like, share, you know the stuff.
But yeah, I mean, the joy in Jimmy's face, though.
Yes.
That battle after
It's straight after the KO. The ref stopped it. He was
you
on
could
his
see
knees. The emotion, the raw emotions after a fight. I mean, you could see it all there on his face.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. And I'll tell you, that'd be just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think it'd be worth trying to have a chat with him, see if we can get him to come on, have a quick chat about it. There's no harm in asking him.
No.
But yeah, I'm absolutely made up for him. It was he did everybody proud.
He did. Any other fights on the Cage Warriors? You
Yeah, there was. So he fights out of the same gym. I'm pretty sure is where my barber does.
Yes.
Funny enough. So he's from
faded
Gloucester.
in more than one way.
That's it. But Christian Leroy Duncan. He was defending his bout.
Yes, he was.
And he just did it in that absolute fashion again.
Style.
He's just champ for a reason. Absolute champ for a reason. I mean, you could tell he was all over it from the very get go. He knew what he wanted to do. He was just dominated him. Dominated. And he set up his finish with just this absolutely insane spinning elbow. And
we love to see it.
And, it was just awesome. Absolutely awesome. And again, you could see how ecstatic he was once he dropped him and finished his job.
Yes.
You could see just how happy he was. Again, just an amazing fight. So if you haven't seen that clip of the spinning elbow, it's either playing here or now, or come out now. I absolutely loved it. A very minute Cage Warriors. And obviously, Paddy Pimlet's side of things was, I think his gym did awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think they lost the
Warriors.
I don't think they had a fair few fights on. that Paddy was being in the corner for him, and
Love to
yeah,
see
he
it.
absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. Shame about Molly, but we'll get on to that one in a bit.
We'll come to that in a little bit. Quick caveat: as you may have noticed, we're drinking Summersby. We've gone up in the world rather than Ropey Bow. Any cider companies out there want to sponsor us? Drop us a message.
Why not? Why the fuck not?
Okay. BKFC.
Yeah, from
Phenomenal.
last week before.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it because we had the interview last week.
But,
So here we go.
it was. I mean, my
your takeaway from the night was obviously
it was it was the DQ.
the DQ.
And
Looks familiar.
it looks very familiar.
We've all seen it before with our friend Eric.
Yes.
And the heads were coming out again.
they were
usual.
coming, and I mean, to be fair, so I mean, it was very interesting. So it was basically it was Jack Grady.
Yeah.
And then he was going in headstrong.
Hey, he's trying to get ahead in life.
He was trying to get
ahead in the fight.
And it was interesting because he was really smothering Rewalt, and he was just kind of going in, clenched out, going to the body, and just getting up against the ropes, just laying into him, and you kind of see him just come up top of his head, and fair play, the ref jumped in quite quickly, split the fight up, deducted a point off of Grady initially.
Yeah.
You could argue 2 or 4. It was evident that the ref wasn't going to take any shit.
No.
So I think that's why.
I don't think you can in a bare knuckle boxing match.
No. And so I think that's why he was so firm on deducting a point, to hopefully nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Which obviously didn't work.
Clearly not.
Because slight technical glitch, but never mind.
Yeah.
So yeah. Obviously the ref's trying to nip it in the bud, but that obviously didn't work. And yeah, he just went kind of back in, smothered him, got up against the ropes again, trying to do his thing, put the pressure on, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just sheer frustration of not being able to progress, maybe. But he did it again, shot the head there, and again the ref just kind of jumped in, stopped it.
Yeah.
Was thinking maybe another point deduction. That's kind of where
Possibly.
I was thinking it was going, maybe. But no, again, the ref was not playing around. They DQ'd him.
Yeah.
On the spot. Just
it's the risk you take if you're going to use a move like that.
Yeah, it is. We've seen it quite a bit before.
Yeah.
If you lose your shit, headbutt, DQ. It happens. So obviously Grady wasn't too pleased, and got a little bit more pissed off with the fact that Reba came up to him and
gave him the
gave him to them.
So
which then led us to the post-fight fight. Grady just jumped straight into him.
Quick hook.
Went straight back in, and it all kicked off again. I think Reba managed to slide a cheeky little right hook to his head. And proper kicked off. The ring got absolutely stormed by everybody. And I mean, again, we'll pop the wow, you know what I mean.
It is a ring.
It's a square circle, as we call it, isn't it? But we'll pop the video up again because it was just brilliant. I mean, props to the cut man.
Yeah.
Because he jumped straight into the set there. He was a massive barrier. He threw himself in there. So mad respect to that. Really. He wasn't messing about. I have a feeling like this, unless I'm dreaming it, I think he's having a scrap as well now.
Possibly.
I'll have to double check that.
Yeah.
So I think it was him. If it is, fair fucking play to him.
Okay, and then
that was it from the BKFC. That was my excitement. It is obviously on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. But if you haven't, then it'll be played here as well because it was dope.
Now, obviously, if you've been following us on Twitter, we've been sharing the updates from the UFC.
Yeah.
And on all our social medias, hit the follow. But let's talk about it. I mean, Let's start with prelim.
Yeah, yeah,
Molly McCann
yeah. That was
absolutely
that was
dominated.
unfortunate.
She's great with the hands and the feet, but as soon as she's on her back, I mean, she's chocolate, isn't she?
I mean,
she
the
got
way
manhandled, to be honest.
She had a hand trapped, and she just couldn't.
Yeah,
could not
free
her up.
And then she took some big shots, and
Yeah,
that was it. It's unfortunate. We do like Molly.
Yeah.
I hope she comes back from this stronger.
Yeah.
Works a little bit more on the ground game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she was fighting someone that's got a decent ground game.
Fighter, yeah.
So you can't.
She looked
really...
good on the floor.
Yeah, really did.
She looked good on the floor.
I mean, to be fair, when I thought Molly was going to tap sooner
with the arm,
because I mean that was just
the Kimura was in tight.
And I mean, even
and then she got out that she didn't get out.
She half got out, but she managed to free her elbow enough for
them to release. Yeah,
but then it just kind of
then she took some big headshots. And
and that was it. I'm glad she tapped, because that could have been a nasty career ending break, really. Because some of those joints like the elbow and whatnot,
I think she's got plenty more to come.
Yeah.
She definitely has. There's no doubt about that.
It's upsetting the gut, and I can imagine she's actually devastated, but can always bounce back from that.
Exactly that. Dan Hooker. Great to see Dan on there again.
Hell yeah!
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I mean, it was just fun, wasn't it?
We love Dan.
It's Dan Hooker.
Dan Hooker.
Which was brilliant. I just enjoyed it. I enjoy everything about him.
Great fight.
He's just an entertaining bloke. But I think the fact that he's a nice person always helps.
A great guy.
He's not an arsehole like a lot of the fighters. So it's a bit easier to get behind him regardless. It's just entertaining. I just think.
Okay.
It was just from the start, wasn't it?
It was
really fight. Just from the start.
I mean, there's not much to say about it. It was a clean, good fight.
Yeah, it was sweet as. I mean,
it's what you'd expect from a UFC fight.
Yeah.
And a veteran at the UFC fight.
Yeah.
Speaking of veterans, Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen his post online?
No, I haven't seen that.
He wants to box.
Right.
Who was it he called out? I'm trying to remember who he called out on Twitter. It was interesting, to say the least.
But mind you, whilst you're finding that though, again, we'll have to play that clip if you haven't seen it. Hooker's front kick that finished the fight. So I think he landed two straight to the gut and dive on that. Just fucking that was a tooth and a half. So if you haven't seen it, then we'll play it here as well. So I was just showed the skill and the class that he put on, as he always fucking does.
So Edgar has retired, confirms retirement in his post-fight interview, but he did say that he is open to a fight with Manny Pacquiao in the boxing ring.
Okay.
I don't know if that means he's looking at that as a potential, or they're already in talks. I hope so. I mean,
that could be fun.
That'd be great fun.
That'd be very fun.
That'd be very, very fun.
I mean, I'm backing Pacquiao all the fucking
all day long. Edgar's past it. I mean, I like Edgar, and I loved him in his heyday.
Yeah.
I think he's past it.
Yeah.
I think now is a good time to retire. He's another one of those people that's been in there for a long time with Max Holloway, obviously Frankie Edgar, Aldo. They were all the old guard.
Yeah.
And even Donald Cerrone. I think he's in that sort of
that category.
Yeah, and I think now was the time for him to walk away from it. Exhibition fights, great.
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao. I mean,
why
not? I mean, he's not going to win, but
Hitman, Ricky Hatton, he's just had a
and he made weight.
Exhibition. Yeah, he did.
What I do.
I mean, he smashed that as well. He was still looking sharp and all. That was I enjoyed watching that. It just great. Bring back some old memories.
Yes.
I did watching him scrap with me old man. It's just some real cool memories that brought back. Fucking good. So thanks Hitman.
Moving up the list again. Carla Esparza versus Welly.
I didn't see a great deal of that. Which
It wasn't a shock. I already had it pegged
yeah.
that Esparza was losing it straight away.
Right.
I didn't see her having. As much as I like her as a fighter, she's not a championship fighter, and it was not her show the minute she walked into that ring. For those that you didn't see, it's above here now. And it was just. I mean, I know I'm saying the name wrong. I'm butchering it. I know it's not Welly, but I'm calling her Welly because I'm terrible with names. You'll get to know this about me.
Yes. Everyone's Barry.
But everyone's Barry.
Unless you're Barry, then it's Dave.
Yeah. Called everyone Tim the other day.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Tim. Yeah.
But great fight. It was a steamroll though. We knew it was going that way.
It was a bit of a welly wagon, was it?
I mean, did Carla win the fight originally to get the belt? Yes. Was it convincing? No.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a shock? Yes. Is it a shock she's lost it? No. I mean, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
No. Again, moving up.
Yes. I mean,
Poya Chandler.
As if you've been on Insta and Facebook and whatnot, you know that this is the one that I've been most looking forward to. It was the people's fight, wasn't it? It was one that everyone really wanted to see.
It was a scrap.
It was such a dog fight, man. Such a dog fight.
I had the early first round, could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Second round was Chandler all day long.
So I think
he almost had him.
Yeah.
I think he threw it away. I mean,
it was. You're going to the ground.
What were those hooks?
Yes. It was like
he was just trying to get in there quick.
Yeah, it's like what Poirier said. Is he's lucky that he was throwing, that he loops his punches.
Yes.
If they were coming straight down the pipe, he'd have been fucked.
That would have been done. It would have been over.
And Poirier quite happily.
I think he would have finished it there at the start.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he would have. And then second round,
fucking whack.
He dominated.
Yeah,
he was winning second round.
Getting taking a lot of superficial facial damage.
He was, and he was bleeding a lot. He always does though.
Yes, yeah. That's what scar tissue does, isn't it?
Exactly.
You cut open fucking quick.
And then third round is obviously Poya because game over.
Did you see? Obviously, there's been a bit of the old debate between the two of them because Chandler took his back, didn't he? And he was trying to get that rear naked choke in, which he wasn't. And Poya was having a discussion with the ref. He was saying that Chandler from behind was hooking his fingers into Poya's mouth to try and lift his head up so he could sink his hand in, which obviously the ref couldn't see, but from one cage side angle you can see him trying to get his hand in there.
And do you know what? Minutes after that happened, straight on the UFC shit posting, Chandler with a hook for an arm. Fishing hook.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I'll retweet that one because it was awesome.
Obviously, you've got a Williams on top of Poirier, and he just
snots bleeding.
He just blows his nose. He just
blowing all the blood out onto Poirier there. Oh no!
How he obviously he's a professional. He's used to having other people's blood in his face, eyes, and mouth. But how he kind of kept his composure from that, because he was whether he says that was intentional or not.
It was.
Yeah.
It looked. I mean, he was trying to breathe. I think, but
yes, I think there was, like he said,
clear the airways.
You can't breathe when you've got stuff in your nose, and he didn't invent gravity. He didn't invent gravity, as he said. But I think he got quite a bit of satisfaction out of. I think
he did.
Snot rocket in his blood all over Poirier. So that was quite fucking funny.
And then swiftly, that brings us to the main event.
Yeah.
And the main debate.
Yeah.
I think we both have I agree Alex won.
Oh, yeah.
But personally, I think it was an early stoppage.
Mm-hmm.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
His arms were down.
Yeah.
His head was down.
Yeah.
But he got back up. He did stumble.
He went down.
He went down, but he instantly got back up. There was no waiting period.
No.
There was no recovery.
No,
he got straight back up, and he was down, and he was still swaying, to slip the punches.
The thing is, I kind of saw his swaying as half of when you're really, really pissed on a night out and you can hardly stand up, you're leant up against the wall, you kind of like hench down as you think of, I'm actually
I get that.
And your head is just kind of doing that on instinct.
Yeah, but I don't think that is, because if you watch, he Pierre throws a left, a right, and a hook.
Yeah.
And he ducks under them in time with them.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but
personally, I think we were seconds away from Izzy trying to clinch to get some distance, and then I think once he'd recovered a little bit, he still might have got knocked out.
Maybe.
I agree. If he'd have taken another couple of punches, he would have been clean out.
I don't think it was nearly stoppage. I think he was out on his feet, and I think everything that he's kind of said that he wasn't, and he was completely coherent in his post-fight interview. I think that's bullshit.
I don't think it was completely coherent.
I think,
but I think there was enough of him there for them to have allowed it to carry on.
Maybe
remembering what's on the line. I mean, I know they've got to protect the fighters.
Yeah.
But the middleweight belt is on the line.
Yeah, and I get that. I do get that.
And it's a huge judgment from the ref to make.
It is. I think that's something that...
I would like to have made the decision myself.
No, I wouldn't.
I think I could see it either way.
A good call from where he was standing.
Yes.
And kind of seeing, is he up, using the cage to prop himself up? Because if he was centre cage, he'd have been on his ass getting ground pounded. And it was for the pure fact of the cage being there. That's why he stayed.
But that is Izzy's style, isn't it? He throws his back against the cage.
Yeah, but that's his ass.
Even before he got hit, he ran back to the cage and threw his back on the cage because he likes to be there. I like to be on the ring. I go to the ring and I slip from the ring.
Seeing how he normally fights to seeing that.
I mean, he's always ran.
I think that was but how he was acting on the cage with his hands leaping down. I've never really seen him do that before. So I can't blame the ref for doing it. Maybe he could have given a few extra seconds, but I really do think that Alex was going to just.
I think for me, the way I see it, I mean, it was a great fight either way.
Yeah,
first round. Let's go through the fight first.
Izzy all day long.
First round,
all fucking day
Izzy
long.
all day long. I thought Izzy almost finished it.
Yeah.
And if the round had been 30 seconds longer, he clipped Piero with a massive left. Was it a left? I think it was a left hook.
Yeah, something like that.
Left hook, and he was rocked, and then came over the top with a cross.
Yeah, right on the bell.
Right on the bell. Bell stopped it, and they both walked away.
Yeah.
But for 30 seconds, for about 10 seconds, Piero was rocked there.
Fucked.
If there was another 10 to 30 seconds left of the fight, and he pushed in, it was done.
He would have fucking annihilated.
But do you know what? That wasn't an MMA fight.
No.
I know there was 2 takedowns in total. 5 attempted. But if you ask me, that was a kickboxing fight. They reran their old fights.
Yeah.
And they got the same result.
Yeah, they did.
Izzy should have gone to the floor.
Yeah, he should have done.
And this is what I said I said to you before. I said Izzy is gonna let the fans get to him.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Ronda. We've seen it with He's like, well, I am a kickboxer. I'm not a ground fighter. But you've been in MMA and you're a title fighter for a reason.
Hell.
Use it. Alex has done 4 fights in the UFC.
How big was? I mean, did you see how much weight he put on?
Yeah.
Like post weigh-in, how much weight he stepped on? He was big.
He was big.
I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean that.
Both of them 6'4", but there was a severe distance.
Yeah. That's like another weight class, really. Yeah. It was. But it is insane.
I mean, we'd like to know what you think. Do you think it was an early stoppage? I mean, I'll be playing the clip above us.
Yeah.
But
so it's quite interesting. I mean, what Izzy said in the post fight.
He said it was early. He said it was early as well.
He initially said it was early. That he said maybe my eyes rolled back into my head a little bit, but I was still with it. I mean.
I think it's one of those. I think he was definitely rocked.
Oh God, yeah.
Heavily rocked. But I don't think he was out.
But no, he wasn't out. But I think the fight was done. But he even said that after watching the fight back and speaking to his corner, he trusted him fully.
Yeah.
So he's watched the fight and spoken to his corner, and he's not angry that the fight was stopped. So to me, that says he knew after in the moment he probably thought that he was absolutely sound. But watch it back thinking, fuck me, no, I wasn't.
So what do you think Izzy needs to change Obviously, he'll want the rematch clause.
Yeah, I think he's already said he wants that.
Is there a rematch clause? Is the question, because he's 3-0 over 2 different sports against Pierre.
Yeah.
I mean, there should be. I mean,
you got to give him
by law there should be, right? Not by law, but by
the gentleman's understanding.
He was the current middleweight champion.
Sometimes
he offered the fight. There's got to be a rematch clause.
But yeah, I mean, I think I don't think either fighter would be against it. I mean, coming from my next point of view,
Alex
well,
has just beat him 3 times.
I mean, what's a fourth? You know, but in regards to changing tactics,
he needs to go ground more.
Yeah, but
he's had longer in MMA than Alex has.
Yeah,
he's a higher BJJ
belt.
He's got more experience on the ground. Take him down. I know he had 4 attempts and he only succeeded in the one.
I think he was quite lucky he didn't get kneed in the fucking head.
I think he was.
Because I mean, we know what his knees are like. To be fair, and if you're going in for a sloppy shoot, that knee coming up.
I think Izzy's stamina played a part. I think he hasn't been tested like this amount of stamina in a long time. When he was kickboxing, obviously, because you stand there and you swing.
You just trade, don't you?
Whereas he tends to keep his distance, point them out, use the points. Yeah, use the points and win the fights.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying he's a boring fighter. I think he's a tactical fighter.
He knows how to fight.
He knows how to fight
to win, doesn't he?
He can't use his height in this, so now he needs to find.
And he couldn't use his weight either.
Exactly.
He was against the bigger person.
So I think he needs to work on the stamina, because the first few rounds he was winning. I think the main difference is he got tired.
Got tired, got pressured.
He did, and obviously Alex was hitting some heavy shots.
Yeah, I mean,
well, congratulations to the champ anyway.
Yeah, well deserved, I think. Definitely well.
Yeah, I think it was deserved. Like I said, I like to have seen it have gone on a few more seconds.
It would be interesting to see if the outcome would be different.
I think Izzy would have clinched, got a bit of stamina back, and made it through the round.
See, I think he was 2 punches away from getting.
We've seen crazier.
We
Pat
have
Barry.
We have, but this is Izzy.
Is Izzy.
He isn't them. And
but
I don't think
his whole philosophy is based on anime.
Yeah,
everything in that, and in anime, that droopy look, they do that just before they go to their next evolution.
Yeah,
I think he might have even been setting up to do that. To be honest, go Super Saiyan.
I'm surprised actually didn't just drive that knee into his forehead.
Yeah,
because when he had his hands down, his head was sweating. I was just thinking he's just gonna fucking bring that knee and just.
I think the only. Do you know what? It was that leg kick, wasn't it, that did it?
Yeah.
He took the leg kick, rolled over. Alex pressured, and he got back up.
No,
he went down. He tried to check the kick and he fell over. Fell backwards, lost his balance, stood back up, and then got caught. And he couldn't get the clinch. And he tried to get the clinch and slipped off. If he'd have got the clinch in, different story, different fight.
Yeah. That would have changed.
Ifs, buts, and maybes. If my gran had wheels, she would have been a bike. As Gino would have said. But yeah, I mean, you let us know what you think.
Yeah.
I think that's all we've got time for tonight.
I think so.
I think we've covered everything. Obviously, interact with us. One of us will comment back on any social medias. Twitter, that I'm covering the Twitter, you covering the Facebook and the Insta. But drop us a message if you've got questions for either of us. Just tag it. Just let us know.
Tag us or put us an email.
Scott and Adam, you know us. Let's do it. Yeah. We want to hear from you guys. We hear from a couple of people, but not many. So it'd be nice to hear back from you. Your opinions.
And if you've got some funny stuff from your own fights and decent funny
still want your
knockouts,
clips.
Just get them into us.
Yeah.
Christ, get them into us. We can get them played.
Drop a like on this video. Drop a comment. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, people. Take it easy.